Hey, it's me, Emmy, and this is a prose poem that I wrote for class last semester. It's called Gyros. My dad's side goes to Greek town for everything: birthdays, homecomings, graduations. We like Greek food best. Aunts shout around the long table, tacking on appetizer after appetizer to the waiter's notepad. The pink stuff, tiramisulata, fried zucchini with extra scordia, the grape leaves, stuffed grape leaves with extra lemon sauce, spinach and rice, heavy on the rice, the gigantigato, what's it, the big lima beans, and green beans and red gravy, and lots more bread, please. We like the bread to soak up the gravy. At the restaurants in Greek town, it's hard to hear over the sizzle of saganaki and each family's chorus of "Oppa!" Flaming saganaki at the table is a uniquely Chicago tradition, I would learn. My Uncle Tony is deaf in one ear, so he always sits at the head of the table, tilting his neck some way around the clatter. My dad orders wine that no one wants, Retsina Malamatina. He brags that it tastes like turpentine. The label on the Retsina carafe is green with a yellow silhouette boy drinking a cup, his head thrown back. A large yellow key sticks out of the boy's stomach. The wine is also almost yellow. My dad and my Uncle Tony get gyros. They pronounce it gyro. We are not Greek. The waiters laugh. The Greektown waiters are so fast. They whip out metal crumb collectors and sweep the table in a single snap of the arm. My dad and my Uncle Tony split the bill. My Uncle Tony is the relative I see most away from big dinners. He lives by us. He used to come over every Tuesday when our dog and his dog were both alive. He would bring rocks. Uncle Tony is a big time rock collector. His house is full of fossils, mostly trilobites and ammonites. The trilobites are brown bug imprints in hunks of rock. The ammonites look like snails. They were squids once. Their spiraled exoskeletons are coiled, ridged. The big ones crumble like concrete. The others are smooth, brown, and palm-sized. In college, we're supposed to read philosophy. The cover of Plato's Republic features an ammonite with scribbled, superimposed measurements. This is meant to represent the unity of mathematics, I was told. Some of my Uncle Tony's ammonites were pyritized during petrification about 200 million years ago. Tony loved to hand out a pretty, shiny shell, and then the reveal: fool's gold. My Uncle Tony has cute rocks too, quartz and jade. He has geodes the height of children. They look like caves against his doorways. My Uncle Tony also collects dinosaur teeth and vintage Russell Wright dishware. My dad says that their father was a collector too, of junk. They say my Grandpa John trove the alleys for microwaves or copper-coated wire or bowling pins. They say he would sell anything at the flea market on Maxwell Street, but that was when any man could make it on Maxwell Street. My Grandpa John and my Uncle Tony and my dad were all janitors at the city college, the one across the street from our house. Tony used to keep his fossils in a classroom there. Everyone assumed he taught geology. As a child, I also thought he was a professor. He knows dates and Latin names. My dad became the college maintenance man because he was good at technical things. My dad could fix cars and install AC and rewire the electric and insulate a refrigerator. My Uncle Tony kept working flea markets with my Grandpa John. The two of them traveled around the country in a white van, mostly to truck shows and auto swap meets. These were planned events on fairgrounds or in convention centers. The customers were fanatics. My Grandpa John said that it didn't matter what you sold. He said, pile 'em high and watch 'em buy, so they tell me. My Uncle Tony and my Grandpa John sold fog lights for a while. That was popular. My dad called them Fog Light City. My Uncle Tony is a professional flea market man now, full-time since he retired. We always help him out at his busiest show, the Big Moneymaker. It takes place biannually in Jefferson, Wisconsin. At Jefferson, the stands line down all the gravel paths of the fairgrounds, the toy tables set up in empty cattle barns. The classic car corral takes place in the field. Pastel-colored pony cars, Mustangs, Woodies, mustard yellow muscle cars, and GTOs. Nothing ever changes in Jefferson. The women still rat their hair and wear acid wash denim, and the men wear acid wash denim too. The shoppers' sunglasses are reflective, and they shop quite seriously. They come from far and wide to peruse my Uncle Tony's stand, which is the most comprehensive collection in the county. My Uncle Tony sells almost everything now. He calls it automotive miss. We arrange the products in plastic crates on wooden planks, which we spring clamp to collapsible metal tables. He sells insulated terminals, shock plugs, fuse assortments, trailer hitches, relay sockets, jumper cables, LED strips, valve compressors, brake cylinders, halogen bulbs. I collect cash and pass out bags and pick up trash. At takedown time, we cover the spreads in blue tarp. We go through many zip ties. After the flea market, the family eats at the supper club. It's the only late night in town. The supper club ceilings are low. The food is terrible. Salty French onion and an eternal walleye pike special. Everyone is drunk by this point anyways. The men's eyes are shiny. They keep hitting their heads on the ceiling. At dinner, my dad used to brag about retiring soon and how maybe he would move to Greece and not pay taxes and drink Retsina on the shore all day, and that good Greek string music would play all the time. Nothing ever changes in Jefferson. In unearthed home movies from the 1980s, toothless bikers and banged-up truckers still pulled red wagons full of dusty kids and used bumpers up and down the crowded aisles of my Uncle Tony's stand. When my dad retired, he got another job doing maintenance at another city college. He paid for my college tuition away from the city. I studied abroad in Berlin and spoke English the whole time. When I went abroad, I saw a lot of countries. I traveled with a lot of friends. I saw Austria, Switzerland, France, Amsterdam, Italy, Greece. My family asked the most about Greece. It was wonderful. Did they flame the cheese? For breakfast, I ate fresh pita with feta omelets and sides of olives. The ouzo was free everywhere I went. Everywhere I went, I ordered gyros with tzatziki. I watched the damp cylinder of lamb and pork turn against its hearth. I watched it whittle away and reappear before me, piled high on a round plate with red tomatoes and sliced onion. In Greece, at night, the whole restaurant would circle up, all the old ladies and children too, and dance to the Zorba theme, which climbs higher and higher, almost impossibly so. We were out of breath. In Santorini, our waiters would feed us limoncello until the restaurant closed. Then they would take us on adventures into town in a fast car, to the bars or out by the fine black sand beaches. Even the waiters wondered how I could drink the yellow turpentine wine. The waiter said I was so lucky to be from America. In Athens, I met a girl from Chicago, too. She was visiting her grandparents. She told me that her uncle invented the electric kebab slicer, which we watched the boy behind the bar grind against the dark spit. I didn't believe her. The next morning, I went to see the Parthenon. I saw so many ruins during my week in Greece, one after another. The Parthenon was excellent in its way, and old too. But it wasn't as old as the fossils in my Uncle Tony's house. Even the volcanoes in Santorini were not as old as those. Bye!